In the quiet foothills of the Himalayas, in a place now known as Lumbini, a child was born more than 2,500 years ago who would one day change the spiritual direction of the world. His name was Siddhartha Gautama, but this is not just the story of a prince. This is the story of a question so powerful, it shattered comfort, challenged tradition, and reshaped human understanding of suffering, peace, and freedom. Siddhartha was born into royalty. His father was a king. His future was carefully planned. It was said that at his birth, wise sages made a prophecy. This child will either become a great emperor or a great spiritual teacher. His father feared the second path. He did not want his son to abandon the world, so he built a world for him. Inside palace walls, Siddhartha's life was crafted to perfection: music, luxury, gardens, silks, dancers, and endless pleasure. Pain, sickness, aging, and death were carefully hidden from him. The king believed, if Siddhartha never sees suffering, he will never seek its solution. And for many years it worked. Siddhartha grew up surrounded by beauty. He married. He had a son. He had everything the world defines as success. But something was missing. Despite luxury, a quiet restlessness began to grow inside him. A feeling many people experience today, a silent whisper that says, "Is this all?" One day, he left the palace, and what he saw would change everything. Outside the palace walls, Siddhartha encountered reality for the first time. He saw a man bent with old age, a person suffering from a disease, a lifeless body is being carried to cremation, and finally, a wandering monk, calm, peaceful, detached. In one day, the illusion of perfection shattered. He realized, no matter how rich, no matter how powerful, no matter how protected, everyone faces suffering, aging, sickness, death. But the monk showed something different: peace. Not from wealth, not from comfort, but from understanding. And a question was born inside Siddhartha that would not leave him. Is there a way to live without suffering? At the age of 29, Siddhartha made a decision that shocked history. He left everything: his palace, his wife, his newborn son, not out of rejection, but out of responsibility. If suffering is universal, then its solution must be too. He cut his hair, removed his royal clothes, and stepped into the unknown. The prince became a seeker. Siddhartha studied with great teachers. He mastered meditation. He explored deep states of mind. He practiced severe asceticism, extreme fasting, and self-denial. For 6 years, he pushed his body to the edge of death. He believed, maybe suffering ends when desire ends. Maybe peace comes from rejecting the body entirely. But one day, too weak to stand, he collapsed near the banks of the Ganges. A village girl offered him food. And in that moment, Siddhartha realized something profound. Extreme luxury did not bring truth. Extreme suffering did not bring truth. Both were traps. Truth lies in balance. This became known as the middle way, not indulgence, not torture, but harmony. Siddhartha traveled to a quiet place now called Bodh Gaya. There, he sat under a tree. He made a vow, I will not rise until I understand the truth of suffering. Through the night, he faced his deepest fears, memories, temptations, doubts. Legends describe the forces of illusion, Mara, trying to pull him away from awakening. But Siddhartha remained still. By dawn, something shifted. He did not discover a god. He did not receive a divine command. He saw reality clearly. He understood suffering exists. It has a cause, it can end, and there is a path to end it. In that moment, Siddhartha Gautama became the Buddha, the awakened one. The Buddha did not claim to create truth. He claimed to see it. He described existence as shaped by desire, attachment, ignorance. He taught that suffering comes not from life itself, but from clinging to what changes. We suffer because we want permanence in an impermanent world. We want control in an uncontrollable reality. We want identity in a flowing existence. His teachings became known as the Four Noble Truths. Life includes suffering. Suffering has a cause, craving. Suffering can end. There is a path to end it. That path, the Eightfold Path, a guide to living with wisdom, ethics, and mental clarity. At that time, spiritual authority belonged to rituals, priests, and birth status. But the Buddha said, freedom is available to anyone, not by sacrifice, not by worship, but by understanding. Kings and beggars sat together to learn. Women were accepted into spiritual practice. Outcasts became respected monks. He replaced hierarchy with humanity. For 45 years, the Buddha walked from village to village. No throne, no army, no wealth, just conversations. He taught farmers, rulers, merchants, criminals. He spoke not of heaven, but of ending suffering here and now. His message was simple: observe your mind. Understand your desires, act with compassion. Live consciously. Peace is not given, it is cultivated. A murderer became a monk. A grieving mother found acceptance after losing her child. A proud king learned humility. A cruel bandit discovered compassion. The Buddha didn't demand belief, he invited investigation. Do not accept my words blindly, he said. Test them. This was revolutionary. At the age of 80, sensing his life was ending, the Buddha gave one final message: everything that arises passes away. Work out your liberation with diligence. No promise of salvation. No dependence, just responsibility. Awakening is possible, but it must be lived. Who was the Buddha, really? Not a god, not a prophet, not a myth. He was a human being who saw deeply. He showed that suffering is not punishment. It is a teacher. And peace is not found by escaping life, but by understanding it. Why his story still matters in a world still filled with anxiety, desire, comparison, and conflict. His question remains alive. Can we live without unnecessary suffering? His answer remains radical: yes, through awareness, through compassion, through balance. The story of the Buddha is not just history. It is an invitation, not to worship, but to awaken. Because the journey he walked,